Hello and welcome to another modpack overview. I categorized every single mod in this mod pack, so you can look straight into the different categories if you like. So with further waiting, let's go to the first category. So let's start with the equipment. So in this category we have most of the mods actually, except then Game Changer. That's they are more in Game Changer than this one, but yeah, let's start with artifacts. So artifacts is basically you have now a new slot that's over here, and you can put up new stuff that you're gonna find. These are artifacts that are very useful or come in handy if you're in a battle or if you want to mine. For example, there's one that lets you mine stone already with your hand instead of using a pick, because it upgrades your mining level. So you have different treasures or items that you can find in the world. So it's quite nice actually for exploration and to feel like the world is actually offering you something that you can earn. So then we have epic knights, shields, armor and weapons. So with this mod we have a lot of late medieval styled armor and weapons. So for example, if you're a dagger or a longsword, we have also mallets. I have here now frost troll leather helmet, so I can, for example, show you here. So we have now different armors and weapons. They're quite cool to use. So yeah, check that out. It's quite nice. It fits well to the Elden Ring theme. So then we have equipment compare. With equipment compare, you can basically look up, well, what is this better for you or not. So you can basically compare it. I put it to A, so you can basically compare it to your current one, so it shows you the stats. So quite helpful actually for using it when you go in dungeons and stuff. Then we have healing campfire for Forge. So basically campfires are now healing, so you have a certain area around the campfire that is giving you basically health generation. So yeah, quite helpful for actually healing up. Then we have player EX. So this one is actually changing the system how you can put skill points. So I can show you here. We have a key binding now for player EX. It's up here. So left alt, which is at the moment not doing anything. I'm sorry. So basically this one actually lets you choose skill points, so you can invest them into certain areas. I'm sorry, I have to put that back. So basically you can put the skill points into different areas. So very helpful actually for changing yourself and amping up basically the experience in Minecraft. So quite cool actually to have skill points now and to put them into abilities. Then we have tool belt, and tool belt lets you basically hold different tools, so you can switch between different tools. So quite helpful to quickly change it. And you can actually see, we'll have an RPG HUD, for example, over here. Later on we're gonna come to that. But basically with the tool belt you can go from different weapons. So here, for example, you can see open belts inventory. Quickly put that to this. Sorry. So you quickly can switch between different weapons. And now you have here, for example, tool belt slot. You put the tool belt in here, and then you can swap between different tools very easily. So the last one is Sarah's world map. So as you can see, we have a world map now. Very helpful actually for exploration. So if you go around exploring, you definitely have that world map the whole time around you. I would recommend actually Antique Atlas for this mod pack. I think it's a good one for actually having a nice map instead of having the regular one like here. So if you don't like this map display, put Antique Atlas actually in here. You're gonna find it very helpful and very needy actually. Yeah, well, very cool actually to use. So yeah, that was everything in equipment. So let's go to the next category. So the next category is cosmetics, ambient and structures. So everything that changes the world or how the world generates, what structures are generated. So let's start with Dungeons Crawl. So Dungeons Crawl adds large underground roguelike dungeons. So basically underground you can find now bigger dungeons than the usual ones. It's hard to go through them, and they're actually yeah, quite challenging actually to fight through. So yeah, it definitely puts to the whole Elden Ring feel kind of a boost. Then we have Dungeons Enhanced, which adds new dungeons and structures, for example treehouse or ice pit or monster mazes. So a lot of overworld dungeons are now added with this one as well. You're gonna find actually in this mod pack a lot of dungeons and structures are added to basically make it a little bit harder to explore or to find actually cool loot, for example. Then we have dynamic surroundings. Dynamic surroundings add new sounds and visual effects. So as you can probably hear the whole time, for example, like the birds chirping or waves when you're near a lake or an ocean. You also see sometimes falling leaves, for example. Yeah, it's quite nice actually for the yeah, the ambience and stuff. Then we have immersive FX or FX. Basically is an add-on for dynamic surroundings, or it amps it up, so it makes it feel more vibrant. Sorry. Then we have Valhalla structures. So some probably know the Valhalla mod packs. So I think it's already Valhalla 4 that's out. So check that out actually. I did one for Valhalla 3. So it's another mod pack, but Valhalla basically has a lot of new structures, so small ones, so towers for example, which are quite cool actually for exploration. So yeah, new structures and dungeons. Then we have Vanilla Vistas, which is basically changing the terrain generation and how the biomes are placed. It's way easier for modders with this one to put in new biomes and stuff. So basically it helps with the generation of the world. Then we have Dungeons Arise, which is adding roguelike dungeons, and they're very beautiful. And they're quite huge actually. They're very, very big to explore. I'll leave it up to you to find them. I was stunned actually when I saw one of them, because they are well made and beautifully made, and also the interior is well designed, I think. So yeah, explore them and fight through them. Then we have Young's Better Caves. So we have all the 6 mods of Young's basically in here. So it's the one for Better Caves. So it changes the way or the overall of caves in Minecraft. Then we have Young's Better Dungeons. So it changes vanilla dungeons and makes them a little bit nicer. Then we have Young's Better Mineshafts. So the mineshafts are now changed and look way more better. And the strongholds are changed as well. Yeah, the first time I saw the stronghold, it was quite impressive actually. They looked way different than the regular ones. They felt like completely new structure. So, and then we have bridges. So now bridges spawn in the world, so you can actually jump instead of just having to swim the whole time. You can walk over bridges. And you have Young's Extras, which is basically adding more structures and small ones, like for example some bigger stones or so, or obelisk or outposts and stuff. That is basically doing Young's Extras. So let's go to the next category. So the next one is mobs and dungeons. So we have about 6 mods. We have 6 mods that are added here, that basically help with mobs and dungeons or create new ones. We have Alex mobs. So Alex mobs at over 70. It was, I think, for a while 45. Now it's over 70 plus new mobs. And mostly they are real animals, some are fictional, but it's basically adding mostly passive mobs, I would say, to the game overall. So it's nice for when you go through forest or something to find some deers and stuff, or yeah, in deserts, for example, like elephants and stuff. Then we have ice and fire dragons. So most of you probably gonna know that from RL craft. So basically these ones, or this mod is adding dragons and other mythical creatures. They're quite hard to beat, so yeah, be prepared. Take some armor with you and some potions. Might be a good idea. Then we have mob sunscreen, which is just actually doing that, for example, like zombies or skeletons are not burning over the day. They are basically not they are not put on fire. Then we have Mousy's mobs. So Mousy's mobs adds a lot of new strong mobs to the overworld. So instead of like animals and stuff, these ones are basically fightable mobs, or well, they will attack you. They're quite strong as well, and quite impressive if you meet some of them, like the Cyclops or stuff. So yeah, check them out. Be mindful. Then we have mutant beasts. So now you have mutated versions of the vanilla ones. So for example, you have a bigger zombie, or you have like a creeper which has like 4 legs. Some are faster, some make bigger explosions or something like that. So they have different attributes and are mutated. Actually, that mod is now continued. It used to be like on hold or not. Yeah, well, stopped basically, but now it's continued again. And then we have the last one is Mutant More. Basically, it's adding new mutated versions with the Mutant Beasts one. So yeah, let's go to the last category. So yeah, the last category. So it's Game Changer and Miscellaneous. So basically everything that didn't fit into the other categories or are out of place. We didn't have magic or technical or mechanical mods in here, so and neither did we have cooking or crafting mods, but well, let's look into these ones. So we're gonna start with Legacy and Move Forge. So basically if you open up your inventory, you can still move. Quite helpful actually, because like, well, for example, if you are attacked by something and you kind of have your inventory open, you can still run away. So quite helpful, and to see actually stuff happening behind your inventory. So then we have better third person. So you have now this third person, you can turn around it. It used to be different, but with this one it changes basically the third person. Then we have campfire spawns and tweaks. So this one is changing that your campfire becomes your spawn point. So basically if you place down a campfire, it's now then your spawn point. And over that campfire is basically 2 blocks over that will be always air. So even if you put it somewhere where it's kind of like you're not quite sure, this one helps with that you will not suffocate in the wall or something. Then we have Conquers. So that's basically the resource pack you see over here. So it's here under resource packs. You have to install Optifine. You have manually to add that to this pack to use all the stuff in Conquers. So for those who are actually interested, I used the BSL shader in here. I think it's quite nice. You can use some other ones which are darker themed if it fits more to your playstyle. So yeah, then we have Epic Fight. So this one is actually the one that makes it look nicer. So basically now you can change how you attack. So you have, like, for example, a binding over here. Epic Fight here. So you have basically, or you can change now how you fight. or in which way you fight. Excuse me. So for example, I have it here that I randomly or attack normally, or I can change it to the epic fight one. So you basically have now a different way of fighting. It also changes how you run, and if you click, for example, there's also a charged attack that you can bind as well, depending on what weapon you have in your hand. You will fight differently. But yeah, it's quite cool. It's quite helpful for RPG style fighting actually. So let's go to the next one. Then we have Glimlip. So normally I wouldn't put libraries in here. This one I do because it is basically, well, adding to animations. So Glimlip is needed for having nicer animations for a lot of mobs. So yeah. Then we have global game rules. Basically you can adjust game rules over the whole game or globally. Yeah, default game rules you can adjust. Quite helpful. Then we have Hunger Strike. So normally you have food and you have to regenerate. So at a certain point in Minecraft that was changed actually. You have to regenerate differently. So this one actually changes that back. So you don't have, it basically suspends hunger and restores instant health food again. So like in old vanilla basically. So you can eat it and then it's gaining you hearts again. So then we have mouse tweaks. Mouse tweaks adding new functions to the mouse button. It's quite helpful for sorting stuff. Yeah, it's a helpful mod that is, I think, needed in every mod pack. It should be vanilla mod, like kind of like that should be in the game already. So yeah, it's basically adding new or enhances the mouse buttons and inventory management. Then we have open terrain generator. This one is for creating a world, so you can basically customize, if you create a world, very detailed what you want actually in your world. So how high should mountains be, how far apart should they be and stuff. So it's very cool. There are tutorials online for that. So if you want to have a really awesome world, you can play around with this mod. Then we have RPG HUD. So it's basically what you see over in the middle, in the center of my screen. You can also adjust here what you actually want to see. So for example, player health, what should it show, the compass, so up in the center here, player armor as well, how much should it be shown. Yeah, it's very cool for actually applying a lot of, so I have now modern, the different ones in here. So yeah, it definitely changes the way how you play Minecraft and it feels more like an RPG actually. So then we have shoulder surfing reloaded. So that is actually the mod you can see here. So it's basically, you can adjust the position of your camera. And if you now combine that with basically the other mod, the better fighting, you definitely see like the usual RPG style of fighting. You can adjust how, like where the camera should be positioned. So if you don't want it to be over the left shoulder, or you want to be more on the right shoulder, or how close it should be, that's up to you. But basically this mod does that actually. So then we have simple unbreakable tools. So it removes actually the breakability of tools. So tools will not break anymore. So it's annoying. It kind of like, well, if you like that mod, then keep it in. Some might not like it because like, well, breaking seems pointless, like the enchantment. But I think it's nice for like this play style, so you don't have to have tons of stone axes or make tons of them, or stone pickaxe or whatever. So then we have world edit. So this one is basically for changing a lot of areas. So basically you can position, you can, for example, if I put this one, it morphs that one or change that to stone, and you can basically make big projects very fast. You can copy and paste stuff, so if you want to do that. So yeah, map editor, very fast, copying, replacing, etc. Just quickly gonna undo that. So then we have You Died. So that's the last mod actually in this mod pack. So basically it's adding a Dark Souls inspired death screen if you died. So yeah, that's everything in this mod pack. It's very small, only 3 pages. I looked it up on CrazyForge. But it's definitely like, if you like this RPG, if you like Elden Ring, that's probably gonna be something for you. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe if you want to, comment down below if I should change anything in this mod pack, overviews, so let me know. And yeah, enjoy this mod pack and have a nice day. See ya.